This is Coyote News.
Tonight on Coyote Sports, the women's basketball team continues its season in the WNIT. Plus, Coyote News' Heath Nimke speaks with a football coach about their upcoming spring practices. I'm Kayla Dorhout.
And I'm Levi Goots. The men's golf team wrapped up its most recent tournament, and in Cassidy's Corner, she gives us her take on American hockey. First, the headlines. Crystal?
South Dakota senior pole vaulter Emily Grove was voted the 2016 Summit League Women's Indoor Field Athlete of the Year. Grove collects the award after winning her second career Summit League pole vault title and fourth career All-American honor. This is the third consecutive year that a Coyote has been named the Field Athlete of the Year. The Tampa Bay Rays played an exhibition game in Cuba against Cuban national team yesterday. It was the first baseball game between Cuba and the MLB since 1999. President Barack Obama was in attendance with the First Lady and their daughters, and were joined by Cuba's President Raul Castro. The game's being used as a stepping stone to better relations between the two countries. And those are your headlines.
Spring football begins next week as Coach Bob Nielsen's coaching staff gets their first practice reps with members of the team. Coyote News' Heath Nimke is live with one of the new assistants. Heath.
Thank you. Football may still be months away, but the spring season is right around the corner. I'm joined with the new quarterback coach of the Coyotes. Thanks for joining us today.
You bet.
What is the goal for the 2016 season?
The goal for the 2016 season, starts next Tuesday. We always start with the benchmark of winning the Missouri Valley Conference. Obviously, the last few years have shown that if you can do that, you've got a chance to compete for a national championship, but well aware that we have a long ways to go at this point.
What are the players doing to get ready for the spring season?
Our whole roster's been with Coach Bowman and his staff since they got back from Christmas break. So they spent the last 8 or 10 weeks with him and really doing as much as they can to get stronger, faster, everything that you do in the offseason in that capacity.
Now, you've helped Coach Bob Nielsen for some seasons now and helped turn around the Western Illinois offense. How do you plan on turning around the Coyote offense?
It might not look the exact same just because the players are different. What we do, I think, is flexible in terms of how we try to utilize, our kids' talents and their abilities and, develop the rest. At Western Illinois, we were more of an up-tempo, fast-paced team, kind of started with a run-first mentality and threw the ball down the field quite a bit. So we will see what we have in the spring, but we'll try to cater around our guys for the most part.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us today. You can catch the Coyotes live in actions next fall. Spring season starts next Tuesday, and they finish their spring season on April 23rd when they play the Red and White game. Live in the muck for Coyote Sports, I'm Heath Nimke.
With a win over Minnesota in the second round of the WNIT on Sunday, the USD's women's basketball team will return to the Dome to face Northern Iowa in the Sweet 16 tomorrow night.
The Coyotes were dealt a loss in an early season meeting at Northern Iowa, but Coach Amy Williams is preparing her team for a high-stakes postseason rematch between two teams she believes are much improved.
Going to have to defend the three-point line, and that's been evident in their first two WNIT games. They've hit 12 three-pointers in each game, and they're a definite threat from a lot of different positions from behind the arc, and so our ability to defend the three-point line will be critical.
Scoring will be another key for the Coyotes as Northern Iowa held them to their lowest points total of the year at 46. This is well below the season average of 79 points per game.
I feel like the first time we played them, we didn't give them our best game. And so I think this time we're definitely going to come out with a lot more intensity and give them our best shot.
If the Coyotes bring that intensity on Thursday, they will advance to the Elite Eight and face the winner of St. Louis and Western Kentucky. Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Mike Hammond.
USD junior Cody Seal finished 15th at the first ever Twin Oaks Intercollegiate held this week in Springfield, Missouri. Seal shot 11 over par in the 54-hole event to lead the Coyotes. USD didn't place another golfer in the top 30 and finished 10th in place out of 11 teams. The Coyotes continue their season at the Arkansas State Red Wolves Intercollegiate on April 4th.
The South Dakota High School All-Star football game will be coming to Vermillion this summer. The Vermilion Area Chamber and Development Company says it won the bid and secured title sponsorship from Sanford Health yesterday. The game will take place on July 9th in the Dakota Dome, and players can register for a fee of up to $300. Besides the game, players, coaches, and families will attend a recognition banquet and participate in several evening activities, with the players staying in university residence halls. In Cassidy's Corner this week, she tells us about her experiences of attending her first American hockey game.
I come from the land of hockey, and that's why I jumped at the opportunity to attend my first American hockey game. The Sioux City Musketeers took on the Fargo Force at the Tyson Event Center. The Muskies are a Tier 1 junior ice hockey team, and they play in the West Division of the United States Hockey League. It was a pretty good game, considering I've been to my fair share of Canadian hockey games. It was a fast-paced game with a lot of back-and-forth action, but neither team really stood out. The Muskies came up short, as they weren't able to capitalize on their scoring opportunities. Fargo scored their first goal towards the end of the second period. By no means was it a pretty goal, as it came after a scramble in front of the net. The Force made it 2-0 after an empty netter with 30 seconds left in the game. Despite the loss, Muskie fans stayed until the game was over. The arena wasn't filled by any standards, but you wouldn't have been able to tell because the crowd was still very loud. The loyal fans cheered throughout the entire game and even expressed how they felt about the refereeing. I did agree with them, as there were some questionable calls, but they weren't enough to affect the outcome of the game. With USD not having a hockey team, attending a Musketeers game is the next best thing. The tickets are inexpensive, the fans are awesome, and all around it's good hockey. Coming from a devoted hockey fan, there's often no better way to spend a Saturday night. And that's Cassidy's Corner.